We'll start with binomial distribution today. This is the first discrete distribution. I'm starting with one example. If a coin is tossed 3 times, what is the probability of getting 2 heads? This is the first one. And the second one is write the probability distribution of number of heads obtained. This is not a new question. You must have done it in 12th class as well. But we are interested in the probability distribution, not one probability. Remember, whenever you solve a problem in 12th class or 11th class, you must have solved probability problems. Now here in the fundamentals of statistics in CS1, we are interested in the probability distribution. That means all such possible cases. So we have to start defining a random variable. X is the random variable. What is the question? Write the probability distribution of what? The number of heads obtained. These are the outcomes. All tails you get 3 times, or 3 times head you get, or 1 head, 2 tails, or 2 head, 1 tail. These are all the possibilities. It's not new. 0. X takes a value 0. That means what? X is number of heads. No head here. 3 heads here. Okay. And if you count 1 head, you got a head here, and head here. 2 heads here, here, and here. If you find the probability, you will get 0.125. If you see all the cases, it's 1 out of 8, that is 0.125, 3 out of 8, that is 0.375, 3 out of 8, that is 0.375, 1 out of 8, that is 0.125. These are all the probabilities. This is called probability distribution. Normally, we don't write 3 rows, we write only 2 rows. Only to show you, I have written this way. Remember, we are interested in the random variable and the probability distribution. All probabilities are here. So if you want, you can find this one as well. 2 heads, that is this one, 2 heads. The probability is 0.375. This is 0.375. And this one, anyway, we have the table from where we can find all the probabilities, and that will be the probability distribution of the number of heads. Now suppose someone will ask you find the mean and variance. You can find here. Okay, you can find the mean here, expectation of x, ex square here using the formula, and then variance here. Suppose you want to find probability x less than 1 here. That means it's 0. Probability x is equal to 0, and that will be equal to 1 upon 8, that is 0.125. However, if you find probability x less than or equal to 1, remember, in continuous, less than 1 means up to 1. Infinite number of options will come. However, in case of discrete, less than 1 means you directly write 0. Here less than 1 means you have to write 0 and 1. And you have to add these two probabilities, you will get the final one. That will be equal to 0.375 plus 0.125. Okay, that is 0.5, 50%. You can find all these probabilities. And standard deviation, if you find it is square root of variance of x, you will get the answer. Now if you come to the next problem, if a coin is tossed 4 times, what is the probability of getting 2 heads? We are interested in this one here. We want to know all the possibilities and their chances. Okay, you can use a combination formula here, but we will go to that. See, if you want to find the probability, all possible cases, if you want to find all possible cases, how you get all possible cases? 4 heads here, then you see 3 heads, 1 tail. That way I have written all 16. I am able to write 16. Okay, so how you can write? Normally there is a easy way to write. You write 8 heads here, then 8 tails. Okay, you write 8 heads and then 8 tails. Okay, you see 4 and 4 here, 16. Now you write 4 4, instead of writing 8 8 you write 4 4 here. So 4 heads, 4 tails, and then here 4 heads, 4 tails. You can write this way. Then you can write 2 2, two heads, 2 tails, 2 heads, 2 tails. That way you can write. Then 1 head, 1 tail, 1 head, 1 tail. That way if you write, you get all the possibilities. From here you can find where you get 2 heads. Okay, you have to find all the cases where you have 2 heads. Okay, this probability we want. Already I know 16 total, and here I have to count. Let me count. But do you think this is the best way? That is the question. So I have to count now 2 heads. Okay, I have to count now 2 heads. Here more than 2, I am not interested. Here also 3, here 2. Okay, here also 3, here 2. This is one case. Then here 3 once again, here 2. This is the second case. Okay, this is 1, and here 2. This is 1. This is 1, 4. This is 1, 5, and then this is 1, 6. Okay, 6 out of 16. I am not sure. Okay, that you have to check once again. 6 out of 16 is the probability, but it takes a lot of time. Even if you are able to do, if I change the question to 50 times, if a coin is tossed 50 times, what is the probability of getting 30 heads? Then you will not be able to do that. That's why we'll study binomial distribution. So you have to remember this one. In case of a binomial distribution, you have to write this way. X follows binomial distribution. Okay, this called follows. This is a symbol, tilde symbol we say. X follows binomial distribution, and these are the parameters. Going ahead, you will be able to know how to use parameters and what else you can do. Now you are learning in a mathematical way. It has a lot of applications. All the distributions you will study here. These are the models. These are the statistical models. Using these distributions, binomial, Poisson, normal, log normal, we have lot. Using all these distributions, we'll be able to forecast future quantities. Maybe sometimes you will forecast inflation, sometimes you will forecast interest rates, sometimes you will forecast the number of people they will turn up to a particular shop. Sometimes you will forecast whether there will be rain tomorrow or not. All these things, these are called models, distributions. These are the future formulas, you can say. This is quite interesting, but now to start with, you need to remember only the formula, and you have to do some problems. That's all. Remember, we don't have any proofs here like we do in mathematics graduation course. We have to learn conceptually. X follows binomial NP. N and P are called parameters here. N and P will change in different situations. N and P will change. Your expectation and variance will change. Although we don't have proof for expectation and variance, but you will study moment generating function. After studying that, you will be able to, you will be able to prove also Ex and variance of X. But in this chapter, this is not there. We find mean and variance through moment generating function. No direct proof is required. Okay, just remember this formula. These are the two parameters here. Now you can check Ex NP or not. Let me go here. N is the number of trials, P is the probability of success in each trial. Okay, probability of success in each trial. Let me write here. In case of binomial distribution, we write this way. Let's start with random variable X. Here X is number of success. You have to define what is called a success. If you toss a coin, head could be your success, okay, it depends on you. Tail also, whatever you want you can take according to the question. If you roll a die, there are 6 outcomes. It will not be binomial. Bi means 2 options. Binomial theorem, a plus b power 2. Bi means 2 options, okay. So if you toss a coin, there are 2 options. If you want to know whether there will be class tomorrow or not, there are 2 options. But if you roll a die, there are 6 options. So it will not fit into binomial distribution, but you can transfer it to a binomial distribution. You can say getting a number, suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Getting a number less than 5 is called a success, and more than 5, greater than or equal to 5 is called a failure. You can define this. Then if you roll a die 10 times, suppose, or 20 times, you can find the number of success. That way you can make it a binomial event, or you can say odd number, even number, or you can say getting a 6 is called a success, not getting a 6 is called a failure. Whatever you want you can do, but you have to make it a two-way thing, okay. We have multinomial distribution also, we don't use here. So remember, X is number of success. Now what you will do here, when an experiment is repeated, many times, okay, we'll use n here. N is the parameter, n times. Remember, later we'll compare this one with hypergeometric distribution. There is a link between binomial and hypergeometric. Also there is a link between binomial and Poisson, binomial and negative binomial. We'll try to explore those, but yeah, it's very close to a hypergeometric distribution. We'll do that later. We'll see how it's linked, but remember, this is important, independent, okay. Number of success when an experiment is repeated n times. It's repeated n times. You can write this is the first time, okay, first time, second time, third time, and you can continue up to n times. And what is p here? N we know now, n times, okay. Now p is probability of getting success in each trial, okay. Here there are 2 options. It's binomial means either you get a success or not. P is the probability of getting a success here, P is the probability of getting a success here, P is the probability of getting a success here, all the time. Because the trials are independent, the probability should not change, it should be constant, then only you can use binomial. There comes P, and the other one you can say 1 minus P, or you can say Q also. We have other notation, we write theta 1 minus theta, but we will go to that later. You can use PQ. These are the probabilities. Suppose I throw something, throw a stone, either it will strike or it will not strike. These are the 2 options, okay. If I appear in exam, either I will pass or I will fail. If I appear in an interview, either I will get selected or I will not get selected. If I go outside, either it will be raining or it will not be raining, okay. Tomorrow either there will be a class or there will be no class. These are the 2 options. If one probability is P, suppose 70%, the other one will be 30%. So P plus Q will be 1. So how can I write P? P is the probability of success in each trial. P is the probability of success in each trial, okay. P will not change, that will remain constant because the trials are independent. When an experiment is repeated n times independently, That's why I have written within bracket independent. Now if you want to know here probability of getting one success out of n, you have to write probability x is 1. If you want to find the probability that you will get 2 success, you can write 2. If you want to write probability of getting x, you can write x here. If you want to write probability of getting n success, you can write this one as well, n out of n, all success. Okay, you consider anything where you can get all success, n. If you want, I can make it 4 or 5 so that you will be able to count. So here, what is the probability that you will get one success? Before finding this is general n. I will give you a small example. Okay, my question is here, suppose there are two teams, okay, team A and team B. They will play 2 games, team A, team B. Team A, team B. There are 2 teams and they will play 5 games. Okay, how many games? 5 games. Suppose cricket match. What is the probability that one team will win 3 matches? Suppose the question is, what is the probability that A will win, or you can write A wins 3 games? Who can answer? If you want to know who will win, I mean, if nothing is given, you can take 50-50. P is 50, Q is 50. That you can take. Okay, P is 50, Q is 50. If nothing is given, otherwise it will be given. It's not that all the time there is a 50-50 chance. Suppose one stronger team is playing with a weaker team, we predict that the stronger team will win, right? So it's not always 0.5, but nothing is given means you can take 0.5. So the question is, what is the probability that A wins 3 games? Okay, what is the probability that A will win 3 games? That is the question. What is the probability? Here it's half. Okay, here it's half, or maybe I can change it to, okay, let's take half only, 0.5. Here it's half. Okay, probability of winning. Here also success, winning is success. Okay, half. You have to multiply. Not only that, you have to multiply failures also. Otherwise what will happen? Because there are 2 chances, if this will not happen, that will happen. Here there is no difference because I have taken half. Suppose you take 1 by 3, or maybe 1 by 5. If you change the probability, the other probability will change. Okay, so what we will do is, we will write the success probability here. Wherever there is a success, we will write the failure probability. So what will happen is, you will get 1/2 power 3 and 1/2 power 2. Why I am writing separately? Because if I change this to 70%, 30%, then what will happen? 0.7, 0.3. This will be 0.7, this will be 0.3. Okay, so in this case it will be 0.7, 0.7, then this will be 0.3. So you have to write 0.7, then write 0.3 here. But that's not all. What you need to find is, you have to find all the possible cases. It's not that team A should win the first 3 games. Team A can lose this one, the first one, and still, see, this is another option. Other option is, suppose this is a failure, okay, but success here, success here, success here, then another failure here. In this case also, for team A, there are 3 successes, right? So for team A, there are 3 successes here, okay, but not in that way. This is also possible. So to explore, you have to find all the possible cases. Here also you will get 0.7 power 3, 0.3 power 2, because this will be 0.7, this will be 0.3, this will be 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.3. Here also you will get this one. So these are AND cases. Remember, this should happen and this should happen and this should happen. That's why we are multiplying probabilities. Remember, when you multiply probabilities, when you have AND cases, okay, this should happen and this should happen. So you have to multiply probabilities here. That's why we are getting this expression here. However, you have to add this one, you have to add with this one, this plus this. Why you are adding? Because here you have to write or this way it's possible, this way it's possible, or this way it's possible, or if I write some way it will be possible. There are different ways, okay? It will be possible in many ways. So I can write another way like that. How many ways you will get? Okay, this is one, this is one, they are the same. You have to apply combination here, okay? If you don't know combination, you can go through combination videos, combination recordings, okay? I've already sent those who asked me. So remember, instead of doing this way, what we need to do is we have to select, okay? So we have to select. You can get 3 success, okay? Out of 5, you have to select 3. See, these 3, not necessarily the first 3. I want 3 out of 5. So in how many ways you can get 3 out of 5? That is what you need to consider. I need 3 out of 5. Remember, I need 3 out of 5. How you can make 3 out of 5? That is what you need to see, okay? I need 3 out of 5. So I have to write this way. From here I want 3 out of 5. You have to use combination, but if you are not used to these symbols, remember in 12th class you used to write C 3 out of 5, okay? Now also sometimes C 3 out of 5, but now we'll write this way, 5 3, that's all. N factorial, R factorial, N minus R factorial, 5 factorial, 3 factorial, 5 minus 3, 2 factorial, okay? So if you cancel 3 factorial, 4 5, you will get 20 divided by 2, that is 10. So answer will be 10. So in 10 different ways, team A can win 3 matches in 10 different ways. 2 ways I have written. If you want, you can write all the 10 ways, okay? We want 3 success out of 5. So any 3 you can select, this one, this one, this one, that way. Whatever I've selected, I've written here, okay? So in this way you can select 3 out of 5 boxes. In how many ways? 10 ways. The other 2 will not worry. The other 2 automatically they will be failure. I'm not saying first, second, third, any 3, okay? Here Q. So P power 3, Q power 2, and then we have selected 5 out of 3. We'll write this as probability x3. Remember, we want 3 success, probability x is 3. So this is the formula. Now go back there. We have n trials. Out of n you want 1, 2, x. I can add 0 also, probability x 0. Why to start from 1? Why not from 0? Okay, no success, that is also one case. No success, 1 success, x success, then n. So if I write 0 here, 1 here, if I write here formula nx px q n minus x, this will be the general formula. Here you can find all, okay? This is the general formula. Along with this, you need to remember this one as well. X values, range of x starting from 0, 1, 2 up to n. See, I started from 0, I ended at n. So if you put x0, n0, you have to write this way, n0. then you can write n1, here you can write nn. Okay, then p x, x is 0 here, p0 q n minus 0, here p1 q n minus 1. That way you can write p n q n minus n 0, so q power 0 will be 1. These are the probabilities. So this is the general formula you can remember, and we write this way: x follows binomial np and ex variance of x, expected value of x. If you want to verify that, instead of finding this way, you can use np. Okay, so this problem, we started with this problem. Here we can write x follows. Remember, if I write randomly numbers here, random distribution, then I have to find this way. This is the general formula. But we have specific examples like binomial, Poisson and all that. We'll use the formulas. X follows binomial here, n is number of heads obtained. Okay, probability distribution 3 times. So I'll write n3, and p is half here, because either you will get a head or a tail. Then if you want to find ex, the formula is np, 3 multiplied by half, that is 1.5. And if you want to find variance of x, it will be npq, another half. This would be 0.75. You can check here. Matching, right? 1.5, 0.75. Then standard deviation you can find. You have to take the square root. That's all. So this is about binomial distribution, and whole lot of things we will learn later. We have some problems here today. See, this is one binomial distribution. I have taken n5 here and p 1 by 4 here, and to show you I have drawn the graph also. See, x is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You apply the formula, find the probability. See, for 0 this is the probability, for 1 this is the probability, for 2 this is the probability. What is the formula? Let me write once again. If you don't know, probability x is equal to x nx px q n minus x, and you write here n5, x will be there anyway, p is given 1 upon 4, and this will be 3 upon 4. N is 5, 5 minus x, then you put x0, you will get this one, x1 you will get this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the probabilities you can find, you can check. Okay, and after finding that, remember we had a graph, 0 probability, see this one, 1 probability, this one. So the shape will not always be like this. In this example, it's increasing, then it's decreasing. Okay, sometimes it will be symmetrical. We'll not worry about those now. I'll just write here the probabilities. Yeah, these are very big, I don't want to write, but remember this is approximately 0.24, 0.237, this one, and this one, if you see, it's 0.395, approximately 0.4. This is the highest probability. Okay, so you will have gaps in discrete probability distribution. I can write probability x0 here, probability x1, probability x2, probability x3. That way you can write 4 and 5. If you want, you can find probability x greater than 1, probability x less than 4. All these things you can find. Okay, even if you want, you can find f1, f2, f3, f4, whatever you want you can find. Okay, f3 means probability x up to 3. You have to add all the probabilities. Okay, you can find probability of getting at least 2 heads, 2 or more. At least 2 means 2 or more, at most 3 means up to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 you can add. All those things you can find. Okay, will not worry. Next example, probability of man hitting the target at a shooting range is 1 upon 4. We'll write p 1 upon 4. Here p will be 1 upon 4. Okay, so probability of hitting is very less. It's not 50%, it's only 25%. And how many times you are firing? 10 times. It might not hit once also, but the question is find the probability that it hits the target at least once. So you have to find probability that x will be greater than or equal to 1. There are so many chances, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10 you have to find. So it will take a lot of time. Instead we'll do this way, 1 minus probability x less than 1. We'll write this way because total probability is 1. Instead of finding and adding all, it might take a lot of time. Okay, so I can write this way, probability x greater than equal to 1. You start writing from 1 up to 10. It will take a lot of time. So instead we'll find this way, 1 minus probability x less than 1, that is probability x 0. Then 1 minus probability x 0, you write probability x is equal to x formula. You know n and p, nx, okay, 10x, px, q, n minus x. You put x0 here, okay, x0, 10, 0, that will be 1, this is 0, this is 0, 3 by 4 power 10. 1 minus q power n formula. Okay, this is over. Let's see what else we have. There is a 70% probability that it will rain in the month of July. Okay, so how many days are there in July? There are 31, so n is 31. You write n 31, that's all. What is the probability that it will rain each day? There is a high chance, there is a 70% probability. So p is 0.7, q will be 0.3 each day. Okay, how many boxes if you want to draw? 31 boxes. Okay, p is 0.7 constant for each day, that is given, that is sample. You have to find the probability that it will rain for the first 20 days. That means what happened here? Days are fixed now. First 20 days, so it is to rain here, here, up to here 20, and it should not rain. Okay, so the boxes are fixed now. You can't change the boxes. So what will happen? The combination part will not come. There is no selection here. It should rain here, here, here 20 days, and it should not rain for the next 21 days. You can change here and there. Okay, so it will not rain for the next 11 days. It will not rain for the next 11 days. However, it should rain for the first 20 days. So these are success. S you can write, these are the failures. Okay, so how many? 20, 11. So success probability is always p. So answer will be p power 10 and q power 11. That's all. No combination here. You have to know where combination comes. Probability x is equal to 20, that is equal to this. There is no combination because there is no selection. It's fixed. It's fixed means these days it should rain, means success, and here failure. Okay, failure probability is q. Q you have to write. So p is 0.7 and q is 0.3. That's all. You have to multiply all. Here p is 20 times, q 10 times. Okay, this is a problem, so that you will be able to know when you need to use the combination factor. Now come here. All the things are same, but here if you see, it will rain for the 20 days in July. Okay, any 20 days, not necessarily the first 20 or the last 20. Maybe it will not rain for the first 2 days, then it will rain, then it will not rain. You have to consider all the possible ways. In this case also, n will be 31, p will be 0.7, q will be 0.3. Okay, x is success, number of success, so number of days it will rain. If you want to write everything in the month of July, Okay, now you have to find probability that X will be equal to 20, any 20. So out of 31 you need to select 20, then you write P20 Q11, and PQ values you can put from here and you can find the probability. Okay, go to the next problem. It's not that every time they will give you sample directly in this way, 70% probability this way. Okay, sometimes you have to use sample. Even this is, I mean, you are in the very initial stage. Later you have to estimate the parameters from the sample, that you will learn in CS1. Now you can estimate this way. P is not given directly, sorry, yeah, P is not given directly. Okay, 70% they have not given, so maybe I can change this one to other thing also. It's not necessarily 20, maybe 15. Okay, let me make it 10 days suppose, because initially when you are doing there might be confusion. It rained 10 days in the month of July. So 2021, we are talking about 2021. This is a sample. Okay, now we have to forecast for the future. This is future, this is past. From the past we take sample and we estimate the parameter and we write a hat here, but we will not go to that. You can directly write P here. So you have to estimate what is the probability of rain. It's less than half, because only 10 days out of 31 days it rained, and Q will be 21 divided by 31. Okay, PQ are here. You have to estimate from the sample if it's not given directly. Then you have to forecast for the future. Probability that it will rain for 20 days, 11 days, 10 days, 0 days, whatever. Okay, and you have to apply the formula. N is 31 here as well. This is 20, P20, Q11, and PQ you have to put these two to get the answer.